let's talk about what the government can and cannot do for people living with disabilities. What they choose to do or not do will also be mentioned pretty briefly. Let's start with that. So, approximately 56 million Americans have disabilities. Approximately $200 billion annually is supposed to be allocated to people living with disabilities. But we are continuously 20% of the world's poorest people. You don't have to be great at math, which I am not, to see the holes in that. So, what is the government's job when it comes to disabilities? And I'll take it a step further, because not all doctors are part of the government, which they're not, but some have their hand in the pocket. Well, I'm not even gonna get into that, but first of all, and I am working on a bill for what is the government's job for people living with disabilities. So all of this is hopefully going into legislation soon. I have a petition that I've talked about on here before. I'm trying to get to 500 signatures or more before I move forward turning this into a bill. So let's talk about it. What is the job of the government for people living with disabilities? First of all, we want that $200 billion allocated to us. We want it allocated to our caretakers, who some of them also work and have to sacrifice the time they could be at work in order to take care of us. So we want to be able to take care of them. 60 to 70% of people living with disabilities get aborted every year. Let's educate some doctors on disabilities and stop them from automatically giving abortion as even an option. Because everybody I know whose parents were asked if they wanted an abortion and they didn't take it, we're all thriving. Education's a little bit lacking, I would say. And I don't even think that's up for debate. So yeah, what do we need? We need the money that's supposed to be allocated to us. We need the doctors to be better educated. What about infrastructure? What about the fact that all 50 states are not equally as accessible for wheelchairs or walkers or crutches or canes, or even for I don't want to be disrespectful and say blind if there's another term. I'm sorry if I offended anybody with that. But there's different things as far as infrastructure goes that are severely lacking in this country. Sidewalks are a huge thing. Not many wheelchairs are great in the grass or the dirt, and who wants to go through their house with track marks of dirt all over the place? You could say, oh, for those of us who do have either a motorized attachment or for people who have a completely motorized wheelchair, they could go through anything, but should they have to? No. It's ridiculous. But stay with me on this. because there's plenty that we can be doing in our own lives to make ourselves feel better and to have a better outlook on life in general. I'm trying my hardest to make a change for people living with disabilities, but I'm also enjoying life in the process when it's not perfect. There's people who are not happy until life is exactly picture perfect, molded to exactly all of their needs. And you're robbing yourself of a life with that. That's nobody else's fault or problem. That's you. I'm not saying the situation you're in, as far as, you know, it's harder for you to get somewhere right now, maybe. I'm not saying that that's fair. But it's up to you to A, surround yourself with good people who are willing to help you when you need it. If you don't have those people, that is on you to find them. It's up to you to be grateful that you're even alive and not the statistic of babies who are aborted with disabilities every single day. It's up to you to open your mouth and ask for what you need. Yeah, some would say we shouldn't have to. You know, oh, I was told I was going to have a normal life, so I shouldn't have to have this problem. So I'm just going to leave it alone and complain about it because it's there. No. You contact the proper people who are in charge of fixing what the problem is. Very nicely, even offer to help. Say, you know, I understand that. Use this as a script if you'd like. You know, hi, my name is such and such. I'm calling because I was at your establishment, or I was on this block and I ran into this problem. I have a disability. I'm, you know, in a wheelchair, have a walker, have crutches, whatever. And this was a problem for me, and, you know, if it was unsafe, say it was unsafe. And I understand, oh, and bathroom stalls are a huge one. They always say that they're equipped, but I've noticed that equipped can mean any size, really. So just say, you know, I was in your bathroom and I noticed that my wheelchair couldn't fit in the stall, and, you know, while it was bigger, so I think you are under the impression it's accessible. Quite honestly, it's not. And I'm just offering my insight and my help to help you get it that way. The number one problem that I run into with these places is money. They don't have the money to do it. So that's where it is the government's job to be willing to build these buildings, or, you know, if you're a business owner and you're building your own buildings, you know, it's up to you to understand the codes and the sizes. And the only way to really truly do that, instead of eyeballing it and even measuring it sometimes is not really great. You can measure it against like the biggest wheelchairs, but hire somebody like me. Hire somebody like me to come into your business establishment and see if it's difficult for me to navigate. I would love to do something like that for you. You know, if you know of a business that you have been to that isn't necessarily equipped, if you're not willing to go in, have them hire me to go in and see, you know what, you can do this and fix this. This, you know, doorway isn't great for people living with disabilities. Maybe there's too much of a ledge or like a incline that you have to do a wheelie over, that not all chairs will be able to go for as far back, or, you know, whatever it is, I would be happy to help. And this is what I'm also talking about with personal responsibility. Don't wait for the government to do it, because you'll be waiting forever. You can write to them and, you know, hope you'll get the right person that'll help you, but you have to be vocal and open your mouth and be willing to help. Don't ridicule, don't criticize. I mean, if you get like a really schmucky person that was terrible to you because of your disability, okay, then start some shit. But just offer to help. And I think we'll get so much further in life when you have people, because of what we, and I'm not going to say me because I'm really hoping that you guys join me in this, if we have people voluntarily speaking up and then asking to be hired, yeah, you should be compensated for this, asking to be hired for making the world more equipped for people living with disabilities. That will make the people who do sit at home because they know or just assume that a place is not equipped, so they think, why bother? They won't have to do that anymore. So please, know your role in this, because it's not always the government's job. This is what I have always meant by you were born the way you are for a reason. We are not all meant to be healed from our differences, because you can make a difference with yours. You can make a huge difference by speaking up and making the world better for somebody else or a whole group of people. So I hope you'll join me in this. I'm going to link the petition in the description box. I'm going to link all of my links in the description box. Please reach out to me if you are not willing to go into the establishment or call the establishment yourself to see what is equipped and what is not. I will gladly do it. Yeah, I'm hoping to turn this into even just a part-time thing. Get to go places, help people turn their place into more equipped establishments, and then in turn have a lot happier people living with disabilities that get to go somewhere. So thank you guys for watching, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Like I said, all of my information is in the description box. I look very forward to hearing from anybody who has a place for me to check out, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.